A rich man asks a homeless black woman to attend a wedding, but when they arrive, the room falls silent. Logan stared blankly at the invitation in his hand. His fingers traced the elegant, gold-embossed letters, but the message still felt unreal. His former girlfriend, Naomi, was getting married, and not just married, she was hosting the most extravagant event of the year at one of the most luxurious venues in Paris. A year ago, she had walked away from him, tired of waiting for him to place their relationship above his career. Now, she was marrying someone who, by every measure, made time for her. Logan hadn't spoken to Naomi since the breakup, and now the thought of attending her wedding alone was unbearable. As he poured himself a glass of whiskey, he considered declining the invitation, but something inside him refused to choose the easy route. He would go, but not by himself. The next day, as Logan wandered through the streets, drifting through the bustling crowd, he saw her, a woman sitting on the steps of a small cafe, her head lowered, shielding herself from the chaos around her. She wore a worn coat that looked like it had braved too many cold seasons. Her shoes were tattered, her hair wild and uncombed, but something about her made Logan stop in his tracks. Her face was soft, and though her hardships were obvious, she radiated a quiet strength. Something inside Logan stirred. "Hey," he said awkwardly. Standing a few feet away, the woman looked up slowly, her dark eyes locking with his. "Hello," she replied gently, her voice nearly drowned out by the noise of the street. "I'm Logan." Her gaze lingered on him, as if trying to decide if he was a threat. "Danika," she finally said, offering a faint smile. Logan hesitated. He didn't know why he'd stopped. Maybe it was the wedding. Maybe it was the aching loneliness that had been clawing at his chest. Whatever the reason, he found himself sitting beside her on the cold steps. "Mind if I ask what brought you here?" Logan asked, trying to sound casual. Danika shrugged. "Life, I guess. One bad turn after another. I landed here." Logan nodded, unsure how to reply. He wasn't used to genuine conversations with strangers, especially with someone who had clearly been through so much. But there was something in her voice, a quiet determination, that held his attention. "Okay, this is going to sound nuts." Logan began, rubbing his temples, struggling to find the right words. "But would you come to a wedding with me?" Danika blinked, her face flickering between disbelief and caution. "You're serious? I'll make sure you've got something decent to wear. It's my ex's wedding, and honestly, I don't want to go by myself." Danika didn't speak for a moment. She stared at him, searching his face for signs of sarcasm. When she found none, she let out a breath of laughter. "I can't decide if that's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me or the kindest. Maybe both," Logan replied with a grin. "But I mean it. Come with me." Danika hesitated a little longer, then nodded. "All right, why not?" The following day, Logan brought her to a boutique, one of those high-end places where employees judged you the moment you stepped in the door. Danika, in her threadbare clothes, immediately drew sneers and side glances. Logan noticed, and for a second, he questioned bringing her there. But when he caught Danika's eyes, she wasn't ashamed or intimidated. She walked tall, unfazed by the judgment. There was something regal about her, something unbreakable. Eventually, the staff, realizing Logan wasn't someone to dismiss, softened their tone, bringing out a selection of elegant dresses. Danika stepped behind the curtain to try them on. Logan waited, sipping from a glass of sparkling water, offered as courtesy. After what felt like hours, Danika stepped out in an emerald gown that flowed gracefully over her frame. Her dark hair had been pulled into a neat, refined updo, and her makeup, tastefully done, brought out her natural beauty. She wasn't just changed, she looked empowered. Danika stood before the mirror, eyes wide with disbelief. "Is that really me?" she whispered. Logan smiled. "Yes, it's you." The boutique staff, now charmed by her transformation, applauded quietly. But Danika's eyes stayed on her reflection. Logan saw it, a glimpse of the woman she used to be, before life wore her down. "Thank you," she said softly, turning toward him. There was a raw sincerity in her tone that made his chest ache. "You deserve it," he said gently. The day of the wedding arrived. As Logan pulled up to the grand estate, with Danika by his side, a strange mix of tension and excitement swirled in his chest. The venue, a sprawling chateau in the French countryside, looked like a page torn from a fairy tale. As they stepped into the ballroom, all eyes turned, voices stopped, the atmosphere tightened. Danika, radiant in her gown, walked beside Logan with poise that defied her past. At the far end of the hall, Logan spotted Naomi. She stood with her groom, greeting guests with polished charm. But when her eyes landed on Logan and Danika, her smile faltered. Surprise washed over her face, followed by something else. Regret. "Logan," Naomi said smoothly when they approached. Her voice was polite, but her gaze shifted quickly to Danika. "And this is Danika," Logan said proudly. "My date." Naomi's smile stiffened as she extended her hand. "A pleasure, Danika. You look lovely." "Thank you," Danika replied warmly. "It's a beautiful wedding." The tension between them crackled. As Logan and Danika moved through the hall, he could feel the weight of every stare. Some guests whispered, casting discreet looks in Danika's direction, but she didn't flinch. She kept her chin up, her posture steady, as if she belonged more than anyone. As the evening wore on, Logan found himself talking with Danika more than anyone else. They laughed, shared pieces of their lives, and he realized he had completely underestimated her. She wasn't just someone he brought to prove a point. She was someone who had survived storms most people couldn't imagine. And yet she was kind. She was strong. She was fearless. Later, near the garden, Naomi approached him. "Logan, can we talk?" He nodded, following her to a quiet corner. "I didn't expect you to bring someone like her." Naomi began, voice low. "I mean, you know how these people can be." Logan's expression darkened. "What's that supposed to mean?" "She's not from our world." Naomi said carefully, "I just don't want you to get hurt." Logan's jaw clenched. "You're worried about me?" "This isn't about me. You're embarrassed." Naomi's eyes widened in surprise, but she didn't argue. Before anything else could be said, Danika appeared, her face calm, but her eyes unwavering. "Sorry to interrupt," she said gently, "but I couldn't help overhearing." Naomi tensed. "I know I'm not who you expected," Danika continued, "but Logan invited me because he sees me for who I am, and I'm more than where I've been." Silence fell. Naomi, usually so composed, struggled for words. She muttered something about needing to greet other guests, and quickly walked away. Logan turned to Danika, admiration glowing in his chest. "You didn't have to do that." Danika smiled, this time a genuine one. "I did, not just for you, for me." As the night wore on, Logan and Danika took to the dance floor. The orchestra played a slow, elegant melody. As they moved together, Logan realized this wasn't about Naomi anymore. It wasn't even about the wedding. It was about Danika. As they swayed, he looked into her eyes. "Danika, I don't want this night to be the end." She searched his face. "What do you mean?" "I mean, I want to support you. I want to see where this could go." Danika didn't answer right away. Then slowly she smiled. "I'd like that." They left the wedding together, disappearing into the crisp night air. The music and laughter behind them faded as they walked hand in hand down the quiet streets. Logan felt something he hadn't felt in years. Peace. He no longer cared what others thought. All that mattered was this moment with Danika, and whatever challenges were ahead, they'd face them together.